first
belt.
time ever an object from interstellar space has been observed to visit our solar system.
In 2017, a mysterious object from beyond our solar system stunned astronomers. They called it Oumuamua, and then it vanished. Now it has suddenly returned, and this time it isn't traveling alone. What Neil deGrasse Tyson just revealed could rewrite everything we thought we knew about the universe. In the autumn of 2017, astronomers around the world looked up and realized they were witnessing something no human had ever seen before. Cutting through the darkness of our solar system was an object so strange, so utterly alien in its behavior, that it defied the textbooks. They named it Oumuamua, Hawaiian for a messenger from afar arriving first. It wasn't round like a comet or potato-shaped like an asteroid. Instead, it stretched long and thin, more like a cigar or even a shard of cosmic metal, glinting in the sunlight as it spun. And stranger still, it didn't move the way it should have. Rather than following the predictable path of a lifeless rock, Oumuamua accelerated, subtly but undeniably, like something under its own power. Scientists rushed to explain it. Some suggested hidden pockets of frozen hydrogen might be venting. Others insisted it was just a fragment of some long-dead comet. But no theory fit perfectly. The object behaved in ways nature didn't seem to account for. Then, just as quickly as it arrived, it slipped away into the cold, silent dark, leaving behind only questions. For a while, the world moved on. News cycles shifted, and Oumuamua became a footnote in astronomical history. Yet the mystery never truly faded. It lingered like an unfinished sentence, a question mark hanging in the cosmos. Because deep down, many suspected that story wasn't over. And they were right. 7 years later, the messenger has returned, but this time, it hasn't come alone. It began quietly, the way so many world-changing stories do. A team of astronomers scanning the night. Sky with one of Hawaii's great observatories noticed something unusual, a fast-moving object, cutting across the darkness with a trajectory that felt eerily familiar. At first, it was just a blip on the screen, a line of light against the background stars. But when its motion was calculated, jaws tightened. The numbers matched the profile of Oumuamua, the interstellar visitor that had vanished years earlier. Only this time, the story was different. Word spread rapidly through research centers. Teams from Chile, Europe, and the continental United States turned their telescopes skyward, confirming the same unsettling truth. The messenger had returned. But even more startling was the discovery that followed. As instruments refined their view, they realized it wasn't just one object. Trailing behind it were others, smaller, fainter, yet moving with a strange synchronicity, as though they were traveling companions. Excitement surged, but so did dread. Was this a natural cluster of interstellar debris, or was there a hidden purpose to their formation? Scientists debated furiously as headlines erupted around the globe. News tickers blared words like return, fleet, and unknown visitors. Social media exploded with speculation, from hopeful dreams of first contact to fears of silent invasion. Behind the scenes, research labs hummed with activity, sleepless nights unfolding as astronomers scrambled to decode the mystery before the public's imagination spiraled too far. And just as the frenzy reached a breaking point, one of the world's most recognizable voices entered the conversation. That's when Neil deGrasse Tyson stepped in. When the chaos of speculation began to spiral, Neil deGrasse Tyson appeared on a late-night news broadcast, his voice steady, his tone deliberate. Unlike the headlines screaming alien fleet and cosmic invasion, Tyson spoke with measured clarity, but even he couldn't hide the gravity of the moment. "This is not," he said, "just another asteroid drifting aimlessly through space. We've tracked countless rocks, comets, and icy fragments. None of them behave like this." He reminded viewers that when Oumuamua first appeared, its elongated shape, reflective surface, and unexplained acceleration baffled even the most seasoned astronomers. Now, with new objects appearing to move in formation, Tyson explained, the mystery had deepened beyond simple natural explanations. He gestured calmly, almost like a teacher guiding his class, but the weight in his words carried far more than curiosity. It carried warning. Rocks don't travel in coordinated groups, he noted. Gravity doesn't arrange fragments into synchronized flight. Nature has patterns, yes, but this pattern feels unusual. As millions listened, his credibility anchored the conversation. Tyson wasn't a fringe theorist chasing headlines. He was a scientist who had spent his life bridging cosmic wonder with rational analysis. That's why his next words sent chills through audiences worldwide. With a quiet pause, he leaned closer and said, "If these objects are signals of something greater, we need to pay attention. Because the universe rarely whispers twice." The moment the news broke, theories began multiplying like sparks in a dry field. Some astronomers leaned on conservative explanations, arguing that these weren't visitors at all, but fragments from a shattered interstellar comet, ancient shards drifting together after some distant collision. Others suggested something stranger but still natural, like exotic hydrogen, icebergs that slowly evaporate and create the illusion of propulsion. These scientists insisted the universe was vast enough to allow for rare, improbable phenomena that we simply hadn't cataloged yet. But outside the cautious walls of academia, speculation took on a life of its own. Could Oumuamua have been the first of many probes, breadcrumbs left across the stars to track civilizations like ours? Some theorists claim the object's reflective surfaces resembled engineered alloys rather than natural rock. Fringe voices went further, suggesting this was a scouting mission, the cosmic equivalent of drones quietly mapping our solar system before a larger arrival. The contrast was striking. On one side, skeptics urging restraint, reminding us that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. On the other, believers pointing out that dismissing the possibility of intelligence might be just as reckless. Both camps agreed on one unsettling truth: the behavior of these objects was not yet explained. And so the debate raged, fueled by headlines and late-night talk shows, leaving ordinary people caught between scientific caution and thrilling possibility. If you were in charge, what would you do? Dismiss it as harmless space debris, or prepare for contact? Because soon, speculation collided with something harder: evidence. And that's when the conversation changed forever. At first, the new readings looked like nothing more than minor anomalies, tiny deviations in speed, faint fluctuations in trajectory. But as weeks passed and more observatories joined the watch, the patterns grew impossible to ignore. These weren't random chunks of rock drifting aimlessly through space. They were accelerating, ever so slightly, at intervals that appeared coordinated. One object would adjust its course, and moments later, another would mirror the shift as though responding to a signal. Astronomers triple-checked their math, convinced it must be a software glitch or instrument error. Yet every telescope, from Chile to Hawaii to the orbiting satellites above Earth, reported the same thing. The objects weren't just moving, they were moving together. And then came the strangest discovery of all: faint energy signatures, barely above the threshold of detection, pulsing at intervals that eerily resembled a pattern. Not radio waves, not anything familiar, but something structured enough to make scientists whisper the word no one wanted to say out loud: communication. The public, meanwhile, was entranced. Social feeds lit up with memes, hopeful hashtags, and bold predictions of alien contact. For everyday dreamers, this was the ultimate adventure unfolding in real time. But behind closed doors, researchers admitted their growing unease. Nature is chaotic, messy, unpredictable, yet these objects moved with intent, like silent travelers crossing the cosmic sea. When asked to weigh in again, Neil deGrasse Tyson didn't deliver reassurance. Instead, he offered a chilling clarity. "If these motions are deliberate," he said, pausing for emphasis, "we may be witnessing the most important moment in human history. For centuries, humanity has looked to the skies and wondered what it might mean if something truly alien appeared on our doorstep. Oumuamua's return, and the fact, in that it is no longer alone, forces us to face that question in real time. If the object is natural, the discovery still shatters old assumptions. It means interstellar travelers are not rare accidents, but perhaps regular messengers, moving in groups through the galaxy. Just as Galileo's first look through a telescope rewrote our understanding of the heavens, this moment could redefine how we see our place in the cosmos. The universe, once thought empty and silent, suddenly feels crowded, alive with wandering visitors. But if it is not natural, if some intelligence shaped or steered it, the implications cut deeper. It would mean that our long solitude is over, and the great silence that puzzled scientists for decades has just been broken. The Voyager probes once carried humanity's voice outward, fragile postcards to the stars. What if Oumuamua's fleet is the reply? The thought inspires both dread and awe, fear that we may be prey, but also the hope that we might finally touch the others we have dreamed of for generations. Either way, the universe just became more unsettling, more intimate, more dangerous. We are no longer passive watchers of the stars. We are participants in a drama larger than Earth itself. And the truth, whatever it is still drawing nearer, and they're still coming closer. Once we looked up at Oumuamua and shrugged it off. A strange rock, a fleeting visitor, nothing more. But now, its return has shattered that complacency. The same object that slipped silently past us years ago has come back, not alone, but accompanied by mysteries that defy our imagination. Humanity can no longer pretend the universe is a distant backdrop. It is speaking, and it demands our attention. Neil deGrasse. Tyson's voice cuts through the noise, reminding us that science thrives not on easy answers, but on bold questions. He warns us against the arrogance of dismissing what we don't yet understand. What seems impossible today may be tomorrow's revelation. He urges us to see Oumuamua not as a threat, but as an invitation to look deeper, to question harder, to stretch our minds to the edge of what's possible. And so, we stand at a crossroads. This could be the dawn of the greatest discovery in human history, proof that we are not alone in the cosmos, or it could be the quiet beginning of something we cannot yet comprehend, an unfolding story larger than ourselves. The final question lingers in the silence. When the universe finally speaks, will we be ready to answer?